We are back with our third matchup for this day. It's a TvC and it's GöranPersson versus Yahweh. Which one of you is more nervous?
No, do you want to answer that question?
I think I'm more nervous.
Well, I guess that's the case then.
Okay, why?
I feel that Protoss is my weakest matchup, and I just don't feel like playing it.
Okay, well, name-wise, this is definitely my favorite matchup because Yahweh means God, and GöranPersson is actually a former prime minister.
He's actually a god too. Yes.
Really? Okay, that's your subjective opinion. So, who is more powerful, God or GöranPersson?
I would advocate that I'm the one true God, so I have a bit of an advantage right there.
And if GöranPersson was here, what would he say?
Alla ska med. I really don't know, but I actually won against Yahweh in the first group round, and I'm happy to meet him again, and I hope it goes good for me.
That's completely true.
Everything is totally true. Everything you say here. Good luck. Have fun to both of you guys. Shake hands, and you can go and start preparing in your booths. So we're going to go back to the casters who will start warm up for this game.
All right. Welcome back to the casters, and this time you might notice that there's two different casters here, and I'm going to introduce myself for the people who haven't seen me. My name is DreamDuck, and I have been the lead caster for most of the show events for this for the University Star League, and with me I usually have Ominous, but he couldn't come here, so I have another person, Mr. Bad Example. Welcome.
Thank you.
And who are you in StarCraft? Please tell, educate the world.
I'm going to educate the world right now.
Yes.
I have casted quite a bit in Swedish.
Right.
Sitting at home with my bedroom casting, you know.
Yeah.
But this is my first big LAN event, and I'm also going to cast in English, so I'm pretty nervous, but hopefully everything will work out okay, and I think it will.
I think you look beautiful, and you know that's all that matters at all. Actually, I think this will go absolutely fine. And we're not going to talk about ourselves too much. You're going to hear a lot from us during this day's casts anyway. So we're going to talk a little bit about the matchup. We have our two players, and I think we're going to start talking a little bit about let's start to talk about Yahweh, for the sake of it. Yahweh actually is a wild card because he didn't make it through round 2. It was close, but he didn't. He was the last second player who actually got into the tournament, especially on a joker spot because someone just left, and after the admissions for the tournament had ended. So he got in the last minute, and he therefore happened to go into a group with a lot of Masters players. So it was the question was, one of these Masters players had to be eliminated sooner or later, and in round 2 he actually did get eliminated. So he barely got out of the tournament, and then one of the 16 finalists cancelled. Unfortunately, so he's a wild card again. So he's just basically in this tournament on in Swedish you'd say on a banana thing, whatever the bananas peel. Yes, fair enough. So he's in this on a joker's wild card position basically, and actually the point is he's one of the only players. He's the only player actually in these finals in the round of 16 that has actually played his opponent in the tournament earlier, and that opponent is GöranPersson, and he won 2-1. Actually, when they last met. GöranPersson, it's a little bit like seeing David versus Goliath with these two physically.
Yeah, physically. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, thank you. So I needed someone to confirm that with me. Nick Origin, I think it's obvious. How is it obvious to pick the Nick of the name of the Prime Minister? You know, it's obvious where it comes from.
Yes.
But, you know, why?
Why wouldn't you?
Oh,
Why
okay,
not?
Fair enough.
I think it's awesome. It's one of the best nicknames I've ever heard. So I'm a big fan already.
Yeah, I'm the kind of guy who's I've been playing a lot of role-playing games and online games and so forth, and I like to name my characters, at least in RPGs, like after fantasy names and figuring out new names and so forth. And I really detest the people calling themselves Beer Can or just anything completely random. I don't like that, but you know, it's a personal preference. I don't know. I have nothing against this nick. I think it shows it. I think at one point he stated that he shows it because it physically fits him. It looks like
you.
Yeah.
I think it's. Yeah. I think it's awesome. I don't see why.
No, that's true. How are we doing with the game?
I think we are just about to start this game. The players are both in the lobby, so we're just creating the game. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss on Daybreak, so it's... Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting. It's one of my favorite matchups, and yeah, I'm really pumped, actually.
Yeah, awesome. I'm as well. This is going to be so much fun. I've been waiting for this for so long. Oh, God, it will be fun. I said God, you know, that sounds like I'm rooting for Yahweh, but, you know, I'm not. It's going to be interesting to see who wins this one. Let's see, a TvP on Daybreak. Which one, what do you think? Does anyone have the advantage here?
If I'm a mainly Terran player, so when I am playing versus Protoss, this is the map I would pick. Yeah, if I get to pick. Right, this is or Antigua Shipyard, but from this map it will be Daybreak.
Okay.
I think.
Cool.
But let's not talk about anything more about that, because the game is actually starting, and we are right into the loading screen.
Yes, let's throw ourselves very soon here into the game. And as stated, this is going to be quite interesting. Yahweh's been playing very well, and we're actually right in here, so let's jump straight into the game. And as I stated, Yahweh has been playing very well. Would you like the honors of introducing him just for the sake of it?
Of course, I would love that. Yes. In the top right corner, we have our blue Protoss player, Yahweh.
Yeah, there is the man, the myth, the legend, sitting there in the booth looking all badass. Is what he does, and I like Yahweh because he looks cool. I'm the kind person who's produced all these trailers, and I like him because of that. And I'm gonna grab the honors of introducing the second player just for the fun of it. And down here in the lower left corner, we have our Terran player, our red player, and that is GöranPersson. Yeah, there he is, David himself versus Goliath. And yeah, previously in the tournament they did play each other actually, and I'm gonna just find the papers.
Yeah, they did, and I think GöranPersson won that 2-1 actually.
Yeah, actually he eliminated Yahweh from the tournament. He won that 2-1, and it was pretty close, I think, in the third game as well. I haven't seen it myself, but I heard it was pretty close. So this is going to be quite an even matchup, and Yahweh sounded very confident actually.
Yeah, I talked to him before the game too, and he sounded really comfortable. He said that versus Terran is his worst matchup, but he still felt very comfortable versus GöranPersson. So, yeah, they probably know each other pretty well since playing earlier against each other. So, yeah, Yahweh probably has, he feels very comfortable, and I like it.
Yeah, I like it as well. I feel, you know, it's something you need in StarCraft is a good dose of self-confidence, because it really makes or breaks a player, and especially if you play at, well, I'd like to argue this is pretty much a big venue, because I mean the production is awesome for this.
For these players, it's definitely a big venue.
Yeah, most definitely, exactly. And Yahweh said it's played a little something online, a few online tournaments, a little something. I'm not sure about GöranPersson. I don't think he had played any online tournaments actually at all, but they have a little some experience in this, and they're of course pretty stable players, what's in their own rights. So what do you think we're going to see here from these two players?
Well, Daybreak is a map, as I said, I really like it from the Terran perspective, because of the different entrances to the second and the third base. So it's really easy when it comes to the mid game, where Terran usually has the advantage before Protoss has Storm or a great number of Colossus. When Terran comes with a Marine Marauder based army and can use the mobility to run into the front to the natural and then run around to the third and drop into the main, and you're usually going to be able to snipe a Nexus unless the Protoss is really on top of his game. So I like this game for this map for Terran. But as we see right now, GöranPersson is going for a 1-rax expand without any assimilators or refineries so far, and going for the early bunker. So everything seems standard so far, and it seems like Yahweh is going to expand as well.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to expand, which is interesting because he, well, earlier in the tournament he talked about really didn't like the fast expansion, and against Zerg, weirdly enough, he never goes Forge fast expand.
Okay.
He usually goes Gateway fast expand or something like that. So he has a bit of he has a few funky builds. So I'm not surprised if we're going to get see something a little bit strange out of him. But as of right now, yeah, it looks pretty standard, and both gearing up for that mid-game gaming. And the point is, yeah, of course, as you stated, it's if you have a Terran who really knows what to do. In the mid-game is where Terran is, of course, the strongest whatsoever, both versus Protoss and versus Zerg. And if you have a Terran that really knows what he's doing, it's going to be hard as a Protoss to figure out how large chunks of your army you're going to keep defending your main and your natural, and the different angles of possible to be dropped and so forth. And I'm a large advocate of cannons, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I am that. I know that, you know, in an ideal world as a player, you wouldn't want to make any cannons. You would want to be on top of your game so much that you've had everything scouted and everything figured out, so you could just counter with moving your units to the right position. But then again, no player is ideal. I mean, well, yeah, there's this talk about Nesty and Flash and the universe and, you know, whatever, conquering the universe and so forth. But these players aren't Flash.
Not really.
No, not really. So in that point, I like cannons. But then again, I don't know if Yahweh feels very confident. Then I think he can handle this as well, as long as he gets scouts well enough to know how much is coming from GöranPersson and where it's coming from.
Yeah, GöranPersson actually did the great thing of getting an SV in, saw the extremely early robotics facility from Yahweh. It's not extremely early, but it's still robotics rush, so it's most likely going to be extremely quick Colossus. Yep. So we can see GöranPersson responding with putting down a Stargate, and I would not be surprised to see a big push with Medivac, Stimpack and Combat Shield, while going for a second starport to combat the Colossus, which I'm pretty sure will come out of Yahweh. Yeah,
that's pretty true. Do we think would you see an expansion behind that as well?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Just doing a big two-ways push while securing a third behind it. As Day 9 always says, expand, then attack, then expand.
Yeah, it's one of those. Wait, expand, attack is... Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, but that's true. As long as you do it basically at the same time, then yeah, you're pretty much covered. That's true. I think so. I think so too. And we have 2 forges coming down here for Yahweh. So Yahweh's pretty much gearing up for, I think, those Colossi. But wouldn't we want to see the Bay coming down soon for that?
I would like to see the Bay coming down pretty soon, because if Yahweh is going to go for +1/+1 with off of only 3 gates, he's going to be very vulnerable if GöranPersson decides to go aggressive. We can see gates 4 and 5 are coming down right now, but yeah, I would like at least 1 Colossi just to be safe. But I still like the double forge. It's not that the double upgrades for late game is going to be absolutely great, but he is going to be vulnerable from GöranPersson's aggression, especially actually when he decides to go for double reactor. So he's going to have 2 reactors and 1 tech lab, which is really good. Yeah. Versus this style of play that Yahweh is going to, but he's not going to have fast Quasi or fast High Templar.
Exactly, and here we have GöranPersson with an army moving out, and we have an observer here seeing this. So the point is, do you think he's still going to move out? He has a nice window to actually do quite a lot of damage. Here's the +1/+1 coming down. But he decides to just hang around his watchtower. I know he knows that it's been scouted. Do you think he's going to do anything with this? No, is he waiting for more?
He's putting down a 3rd command center, and you have to remember he did build 2 reactors. Reactors take very long to make, so he is not going to go for a full-out aggression, just stem in and try to kill him. Yeah. But I would like him to go in, poke and prod a little bit, maybe drop into the main base and try to scout to do a little bit of damage, because we went for a pretty greedy build with these 2 forges pretty early.
Who really did, and the point is, if GöranPersson doesn't put any pressure on with this, then actually Yahweh's going to get away with it, which is going to quite a lot further his game. He's going to have very nice upgrades very, very soon here. On the Terran side here, as you stated, the 3rd command center is coming down. So as soon as the Terran production kicks in, then of course it's going to be very, very. There's going to be a lot of things happening at the same time. It's mainly when the Terran players shine, of course, in the mid game in that way. And here's the robotics bay coming down. As you stated, Colossi coming down. We have the upgrades going 1/1 very soon finished.
Yeah, well, this has to be something really stylistic of GöranPersson, because he has 5 barracks, he went for 2 turret and 3 reactors. That is very rare to see against Protoss. It's going to be so marine heavy, which, if you have a lot of medivacs, a lot of good micro to dodge storms and snipe Colossi, it's going to work, but he really relies on getting those great engagements with so many Marines, because if he gets caught out by Storm or Colossi, those Marines are just going to melt.
Yep. That's going to be very important for him, of course, yeah. So, I don't know, it seems like a very micro-based player. I think the last time I saw him as well, he really relied on quite micro-heavy strategies. But yeah, I mean, if you got the micro, use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Yahweh has banked a lot of gas, actually. It's up to 700 gas, so I would love to see him go for some high Templars and I go for the Templar Archives. Yeah. He's going for 1 Colossi so far, no range just yet, as well as charge, so he's going to kind of all the tech branches. It's just the Stargate that is missing. Yeah. But yeah, double Forge, Colossi, and maybe going into Templar Tech. Which, yeah, so he's going for everything at once, but I think it's going to be okay if he can establish this third base economy. Yeah. I'd like to see GöranPersson go for some aggression right now, because this is where the Terran army shines, and Yahweh does not have a Colossus out just yet, so he could do some damage to this third base, I think. Yeah, this is pretty much the window GöranPersson has, I think, to go in there and do quite a lot of damage before, because Yahweh's been playing as sustainer, very tech-greedy, together with quite economically greedy as well, and he's got his third base established, and when those Colossus kick in, I mean, he's got charge slots, he's got nice upgrades, he's got everything going for him, so GöranPersson, man, your time is running out. Yeah, he actually scanned and saw Yahweh's entire army, a lot of Stalkers, 4 Sentries and a couple of Zealots, and GöranPerssion's army would beat that 10 times out of 10. Absolutely. Yahweh has the Colossus out, the second Colossus is on the way, as well as +2/+2 in charge, so the time window is closing rapidly. GöranPersson needs to do something, and I think he's going to. Yeah, I think it looks like he's actually going to do that, and he's going to go snipe the third base, it looks like that, and they both have their thirds established, so they're pretty much on an even economical level, but yeah, soon Yahweh's tech is going to kick in. Let's see if he gets anything done here with this force. This is such an important timing. +2/+2 is 10 seconds from completed from Yahweh. If GöranPersson just stims in right now, and it seems like he's going to. Yeah, he did that. Actually, Yahweh managed to snipe a medivac there. A nice force field preventing them from coming in. And 2-2 has finished now, so he has an advantage in upgrades there. But oh my god, there's so much damage coming down from GöranPersson. He's hiding behind the force fields. Yeah, pretty good force fields from Yahweh, but it's actually helping GöranPersson. Oh, the man mules as well. I'm not sure if that's so smart, because Yahweh has the Colossus, but he stims in some beautiful micro there. He has the medivacs, these medivacs are the MVPs of this fight, 4 medivacs, just winning the fight for him. Another man mule. GöranPersson is going to take out the third base, and I think the game as well. I think the game as well, very much so. That was very nice play from him. He moved out and he got a very nice spread behind those force fields. Actually, those force fields really helped them, because they were in a perfect concave. So the point was he could just move towards the force field and establish a concave in that way. And as soon as they went away, he just walked in and sniped out the Colossus. So that was a really nice engagement from GöranPersson. His micro was very well there, very good there as well. So yeah, even though he was quite marine heavy, he managed to do that very nicely. Yeah, exactly. And he's actually more than doubling his opponent's army supply. So if he just gathers his own army and A moves, he's going to win. The thing for Yahweh, if he gets to sit comfortably, he has 3-3 on his way. So if he can just turtle for 3-3 and then go for big 2-base stack with 3-2, it's going to be, but here he comes and he's going to snipe the Colossus. He's going to snipe that Colossus and just run away, and it's actually going to get away, I think. Is there blink on? There's no blink on these Stalkers, so he couldn't even chase down those medivacs. That was very worth it for GöranPersson. Snipe the Colossus and run, man. Yeah, really well micro, but we got a medivac there, medivac full of troops, so... Oh, that's very nice. Very nice for him. And as you stated, yeah, as long as it gets a turtle up, because now, yeah, he has 112 supply to the 153 of GöranPersson. And GöranPersson, yeah, he's got his infantry weapons level 3 coming down, but his armor's down too, and the 3-3s as well starting. Oh, and there's a small engagement here. I was about to miss that. Yeah, really didn't go well for Yahweh, and this looks very bad. Yeah, it went as expected for GöranPersson. He could have micro-rested the Colossus, he didn't, and that's maybe Yahweh's chance if he can keep the Colossus alive. Yeah. But these medivacs are really the true heroes. 7 medivacs, just, and he's going in. Oh, he's going in. I'm thinking he should probably just abandon that third and not go into this, because this is going to end very badly. He's going to lose his Colossus, and the rest of the groups are falling very easily to this. And we're going to need a cancel here, yeah. Yeah, very well micro for GöranPersson. We'll see if he tries to go in, but he is not... the reinforcement comes, so he probably go in when those arrive. And yeah, Yahweh is pretty much dead. I think there's not much hope for him. No, he does not have Storm. If he had Storm, he maybe could have done something. But yeah, it's going to be really tough here, and I think Yahweh is going to go down now.
Yeah, that Colossus is taken out very quickly, and as well the Archon's going to fall, and there's the GG. Good game. And quite convincingly, that looked pretty almost simple, I think, from GöranPersson's side throughout the game. What do you think?
Yeah, very well executed play. The thing is that the styles that both players went from worked very well for GöranPersson, because they went for a standard, pretty army-heavy two-base aggression while taking a third behind it, while Yahweh went for a very greedy two-base play where he went for both Colossus and the double upgrades.
Yeah.
So yeah, it worked out very well for GöranPersson, and the timing of the push was just impeccable there when the +2/+2 were just 10 seconds from finishing. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but it's very beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's very beautiful to see. I think actually, yeah, it should have been just I say 20, 30 seconds prior to that. It would have been even more powerful, but of course that's very hard to read in itself. So it's nice to see a good timing push. He figured out that, yeah, now's the time to push, actually, when all the tech is not complete yet. And yeah, Yahweh was playing very tech greedy there. He had all the tech paths, and the point was, yeah, that's a very low, very late timing to go for. It seems, is that viable? Do people do that? Does it work? So wait that far and have that all the tech kicking in, and that far into the game.
Yeah.
All right. So player presentation here. Let's recap on these two. We have the Yahweh one, and take a look at that again. Of course, yeah, the Yahweh, the God guy, the God from Masters League, and yeah, a very late timing. I talked about quite funky builds. Does that even work?
It was a quite funky build.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see the earlier Colossus. If he would have went for the other Colossus and went up to, he could have gotten up to 3-4 Colossus with range with the time to push. So yeah, that would have been. I think that would have been the more correct play instead of going so greedy with the double forge so early.
Yeah, that's true. GöranPersson, what do you think about his build so far?
His build is very standard and just very solid straight through. I think his micro and macro were both good for being such a Master League player.
Yeah.
And what I was missing from GöranPersson is I think he could have done a little bit more scouting with a Marine or with an SV, because he scanned a lot.
Yeah,
I think that was quite unnecessary.
Yeah, it was a little bit unnecessary. And as I stated, we talked about the Marine mix, a lot of Marines into it, but yeah, he has the micro to back it up with, so it worked out perfectly for him, of course. And yeah, spent a lot of energy on those scans. But on the other hand, it seemed like he actually needed to scout quite a lot, because, well, he could have pushed earlier with his ball actually, but he didn't. The point is, of course, it's quite hard to know when you're actually going to scout, when you're actually going to push with that, and you need to scout out to figure it out. But he did find a good timing in the end. So I mean, all the scans, they paid for themselves. We're ready to throw ourselves right into game number 2. So let's do that. Which map are we on now? We're on Entombed Valley. Yes, that's very nice. So that's the one we're going to play on now. And actually, I'm going to grab the introduction for our first player. So in the top left corner here, we have our red Terran, and that is GöranPersson, the man, the myth, the legend. And actually, just for the fun of it, gonna see if I have it here. His real name is Omar Olivares. So the question is, why choose GöranPersson?
Why not?
That's going to keep being your answer, isn't it?
Yeah, I just love it.
Yeah.
And his opponent here, the blue Protoss player, in the bottom left, we have Yahweh.
Yes, the man who was to be named God by himself.
By himself.
Yes. He had an awesome title, by the way. On if he would have gotten, we asked a lot of weird questions when we did interviews with these people, and he had the question: if you would have gotten a book written about you, what would the title be? And his title was the God of Gods, the Lord of Lords, I think.
Quite confident.
Quite confident, a little bit. And we saw that in the interview as well. He really wanted to intimidate his opponent, and it's not hard to do that when you're 30 centimeters taller. Actually, so yeah, he got that down quite easily. But on the other hand, GöranPersson, all he needed to do was to point out that he won in the last game, 2-1. So yeah, that worked out. and it didn't work out. So, what do we think? What are the predictions for this game? What would you do as Yahweh? Do you play any Protoss?
I play a little bit of Protoss. I would say it's my worst race. More time than Zerg, but Protoss, it's I would say that this map goes very well for a big 2-base aggression. So I would love to see some form of one gate expand or maybe Nexus first, which is obviously too late for now. And then going into a 6-gate. Just an early big 6-gate timing, or maybe even an immortal play with maybe a proxy robo. Some big aggressive play I would like, because GöranPersson went for a pretty greedy build last game, and I think this map lends very well to aggressive plays because the ramp is so big it's hard to defend with bunkers. Yeah,
that's true. I think it looks like GöranPersson is he's a little bit afraid of all types of she's. Actually walled himself in, and he's been scouting quite meticulously with his first Marines. So I think he's a little afraid that Yahweh might throw something at him.
But look at what he's doing in his base.
Oh my god.
He's going up to 4 barracks right now. I think he's going up to build number 5 and maybe even number 6. I would say that 6 racks is the magic number.
Yeah, 6.
But the bunker at the front is actually so smart. He is tricking Yahweh. This is hardcore mind games. He went for a 1-rack expand in the early game with a bunker. Yahweh is going to see the bunker and think, oh, it's a 1-rack expand.
Exactly.
But then there's 5 barracks in his base, and
This is going to be hard, and we have an expansion coming up from Yahweh, early expansion here. So yeah, he's gonna need to scout this somehow, which he's not going to do. So the question is when he's going to see this, he's going to see this when the big push comes, and that's probably going to be too late, isn't it?
I think it's going to be too late, and he goes for the same build as last time. With a very early robotic facility, and that is not at all what you want. What you can build from a robotic facility, you can build a Warp Prism, you can build an Observer, you can build an Immortal. No one of the Marines don't care about any of those 3.
No, they
Marines
really don't.
just, they will. He needs a lot of gateways, and he needs very, very good micro. Or GöranPersson to screw up his micro, and here we go. I think the Alla ska med is the name of his tactic as well. As you can see, all the SCVs just rallying across the map, and this is so beautiful.
And he's chasing off the stalker with a few Marines, and he's going around.
This is so smart.
So this hasn't been scouted by Yahweh.
Exactly, he went around the backside. Yahweh has no idea this is coming, and this is so many SCVs, so many Marines.
Oh, there's nothing for him to protect here. Doesn't even have a sentry, no.
Yahweh's total units, it's 1 Stalker versus 16 Marines and 16 SCVs. I would love to see him go.
Are we going to see an instant GG here?
I don't think so. He's going to be fighting till the end, but he's going into the main to nullify any sentries that would pop out, and he needs to pull ults from... Oh, the misrally of the Stalker, and that's the man mule, and I think Yahweh doesn't have a chance.
No, I don't really see what he would possibly do in this position. He's trying to micro his Stalker behind those Marines, but that's not really going to help, is it? Oh, and a mineral trick around to try to kill the Marines. Not that it really would help, because he's lost so many SCVs as of right now, and he's probably going to lose the rest as well very soon here. But he has a warp in, of course, a few zealots here. And, no, didn't help too much.
Yahweh's out of money, and, there's no chance he
shut down
the pylon. And
exactly. He shut down 1 gateway, and it's going to shut down the other 2 here as well, and there's no reinforcement, and there's no workers left, and there's a lot of Marines. And the possibility to build a lot more. And here we go. The last few workers are dying, and the mule is just hanging around there. FF. I'm thinking that was going to be GG. And there's the GG for that game, and whoa! I think actually Yahweh handled that pretty well with the little something he had. It was a nice mineral move with the workers, trying to surround the Marines, and he did actually manage to do quite a lot of damage to them, and killed, I think, at least a third of the Marines.
Maybe a third of the Marines.
It's very small. It's a very small console. English is my third language. Never mind. It's a small something, and it's a good try. But it was a very, very beautifully executed build from GöranPersson.
It's so smart actually. In the first game, he went for the wall in. And then he built the command center on the high ground, which I don't really agree with. It's still usually better to build it on the low ground, but now we can see why he did it. If in the first game he goes for 1x expand and shows the same thing to Yahweh, and then in the second game Yahweh scouts the same thing, and then he's going to believe it's someone expand. It's so smart.
It's very smart. It was very nice, and he caught him completely off guard. So that was very nice mind games played from GöranPersson actually on him. I mean, it could be. I haven't seen the games they played previously, but that's the point. Those could have played in quite well if he managed to establish the point that he usually did the expansion behind that. Then in that case, this was a clearly beautiful decision to make.
Yeah, and one thing that's really important in StarCraft is to be able to get the game where you want it.
Yeah.
If GöranPersson feels that his micro is his greatest skill,
yeah, exactly,
then he wants to get the game into more of a micro situations.
Yeah.
Not the big macro games, and that's he done so well in both of the games. Actually,
he has
showed off his great micros.
Yeah, and it seems like Yahweh really isn't. He really doesn't look like he would want to get into. It doesn't look like he would want to get into any of those situations. It looks like he's trying to aim for a nice late game big ball. And actually, in game number 2 here, when he noticed that it looked like GöranPersson was doing the same thing, he skipped sentries, he skipped everything to actually just cut down the corners to get into that one. I think that as with this, we're going to go into short players interview with our winner, and that will be right back.
We're here with the winner interview, and I think today we have really shown who is more powerful, GöranPersson or God.
Yeah, right.
Do you feel like the Social Democrat could use this as like next year's slogan or something like we kick divine butt?
Of course, GöranPersson as a strong StarCraft player will get more votes for Socialdemokraterna from the esports community.
I absolutely think so. You said you were nervous going into this game. How did you feel when you sat in that booth?
I felt nervous anyway. I did a lot of mistakes in the first game. My macro wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but I still felt that Yahweh did more mistakes, and that led me to a victory in the first game. In the second game, I have like 2-3 cheeses for Protoss opponents, and this cheese often works like 70% of the time. So I thought that I'd try it in game 2 because I was up one game.
You had very different styles in both the games. You had a macro-heavy game first, and then you went to an all-in. How did you come to those decisions? What were you thinking?
Well, I did win the first game, and I felt that I didn't have to prove me again in a macro game. So in the second game, I went for a cheese.
Congratulations, you've made it out of round of 16.